Have you been told no, you cannot buy the house of your dreams? That your damaged credit scores are standing in the way? Even if you can get approved for a mortgage, your less than perfect credit scores punish you with a higher interest rate, making the monthly payment stretch your budget way too far. It almost hurts how bad you want to fulfill your dream of buying a house, and not just any house. You want to own a home that feels right for you and your family. If your credit scores are holding you back from fulfilling your hopes and dreams, then I have some really good news for you. In just a few minutes, you're going to discover how easy it is to begin improving your credit scores. Starting today, you'll be able to take the first simple step so you can eliminate the frustration of being forced to keep putting your life on hold. You know that feeling of just running in place and not getting anywhere? I'm going to share with you the answer to your prayers, the attorney-assisted credit improvement service that for over 20 years has helped thousands of people just like you restore their healthy credit in as little as 90 days. I'm going to walk you through and explain the exact steps of our proven credit restoration program that will enable you to restore your healthy credit so you can confidently take back control of your life. You will always understand exactly what is being done and where you are in the process. Each step along the way is overseen by an expert consumer credit attorney, so you can relax, having complete confidence that our proven process takes full advantage of the powerful rights guaranteed to you under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which in turn provides effective remedies which the knowledgeable attorney can use to compel your creditors to follow the law. Just think how you'll feel when your life is back on track and you can once again do the things that are important for yourself, your loved ones, and others. Many people have described the feeling as stepping out of the cold night, back into the warm sunshine. Before I begin, let me tell you what happened to me. My name is David Cole, and I'm a nationally recognized expert on the subject of using self-directed retirement plans, both IRAs and solo 401ks, for real estate investing. During the last 20 years, I have taught hundreds of professionals such as CPAs, financial planners, and attorneys, as well as thousands of real estate investors, how it is possible to have 100% checkbook control of every penny of their retirement money to invest as they see fit. A few years ago, I was involved in a business venture that went south. My new business associates left me holding the bag for a ton of borrowed money. They may have taken off for the hills, but I was determined to do the right thing. And although it was a monumental struggle that cost me many a sleepless night, somehow, through sheer determination, I managed to work my way out of this financial quicksand. However, while trying to fix all of this, my credit scores dove straight into the basement. With my financial background, you might assume that I would know what to do or who to call to fix my credit problems, but I didn't have a clue. In my case, the saying, "you don't know what you don't know," couldn't have been more true. So I began reaching out to a number of other professionals to find out if they knew who could help me, and well, guess what? They didn't have a clue either. Not only that, but they began to tell me all about their credit problems and asked me to give them a heads up when I found the solution. So I kept digging. I found a bunch of self-help books telling me that all I had to do was fill out their boilerplate forms, drop them in the mail, and voila, all my problems would be fixed. I knew it wasn't that simple. There are plenty of companies on the internet making all kinds of great-sounding promises. And all I had to do was pay a small startup fee and ongoing monthly payments, but nobody could tell me for how long I would be making those payments, and more importantly, when my credit scores would rise, which made me really leery. I wanted a program that had proven itself effective over many years, where I could simply pay a one-time fee and have it handled for me. I knew what I was looking for, an attorney-assisted service that would move quickly to help me improve my credit records so I could get this credit monster off my back and get on with my life. Good grief, I couldn't even finance a car for less than 18%, if at all. Talk about embarrassing. After searching for what seemed like an eternity, I was speaking with an attorney friend and mentioned my frustration with not being able to find a trustworthy credit improvement service. He said, no problem. I'll introduce you to the attorney I use to clean up my credit records. He is awesome. With just one simple phone call, my life finally changed for the better. Well, that's my story. I wished it had never happened, but it did. And I wanted you to hear what I went through so that you can appreciate that I really empathize with what you're going through and why I am so excited to be able to introduce you to the solution you've been searching for. So, let's talk about you and what you're up against. As an individual, you are unique, and so are your hopes and dreams. Some may be small, perhaps a custom home theater for family movie night, a Hawaiian vacation, or a much-needed new car. Some of your hopes and dreams are larger, a college education for your children, buying your dream home, preparing yourself for a new career, or setting yourself up financially for your golden years. I'm sure you've worked hard to make these dreams a reality for you and your loved ones. No doubt you've invested much of your time and hard-earned cash towards getting the ball rolling. The sad truth is, unless you're made of money, your personal hopes and dreams will most likely remain a tantalizing, elusive mirage just outside of your grasp. Here's one of the reasons why. No matter how much you want something to happen, it's not really your decision. Something else has the final say, which dictates not only your day-to-day quality of life, but also whether or not the future you envision for you and your loved ones will ever become a reality. Everything you were, now are, and will become has been and is being recorded, reduced, distilled, and archived in your credit records by credit reporting agencies and sold as a consumer grading service to virtually any type of lender, bank, or mortgage company. The CRAs, also known as credit bureaus, make it fast and easy for a lender to decide whether or not they will loan you any money. They create a 3-digit credit score which has the final say as to your level of honesty, integrity, and reliability. Do you know what your credit scores are right now and what they say about you? Your credit records are your most valuable financial asset. And if you do not take action now to learn how to improve them, monitor them, and defend them, then your life now and into the future will be whatever a computer program dictates. Is that the life you want to lead? Being forced to bow to the power of a computer defining who you are in neat little rows of data? Well, of course not. Which makes today the turning point where you take back control of your life by taking responsibility for your credit records. Now, you can relax. This is not as daunting as it sounds. In fact, we make it easy. But you still have to do your part. And the first step is to work hand in hand with us to improve your credit records, which in turn can raise your credit scores up to a healthy level that lets you do the things that you want to do. Just to make sure you and I are on the same page, let's take a quick look at what the credit bureaus know about you. And that's virtually everything when it comes to your financial activities. Your credit file is both an historic and current snapshot of your financial life. Entries are made recording your good payment history, as well as any of the mistakes you've made along the way. All of the data in your credit file comes from mortgage companies, car loans, credit cards, collection companies, courthouses, and other financial institutions. The credit bureaus are not obligated to root out errors and provide accurate information. Their job is to merely record the information presented to them by creditors. All of this personal data is then reported on a monthly basis to the 3 primary credit bureaus that you know as Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Based on the information in your credit files, these credit bureaus use their own proprietary computer algorithms to assign you a 3-digit credit score. Whether or not you can get a loan, and if so, what interest rate you will be charged, is decided based on the range where your scores fall. With all of your individual creditors reporting information about your financial life, it is inevitable that mistakes are made along the way. Were you aware that some of the records in your credit files may be completely false or in some cases aren't even yours in the first place? You can be turned down, be told no, you cannot buy a car, or denied your right to own the house of your dreams based on information in your credit files that may be completely false. You could be losing thousands of dollars a year in excess fees and deposits or higher interest rates for false entries or bad records that aren't even yours. That's a scary thought, isn't it? Here's what CBS News had to report. A mistake on your credit report can cost you money. It can increase the interest you pay on loans, prevent you from getting a mortgage, or buying a car, landing a job, or getting a security clearance. It's not uncommon. And as we first reported in February, a government study indicated that as many as 40 million Americans have a mistake on their credit report. 20 million have significant mistakes. Do you find it disturbing to discover that other forces are at work corrupting your credit records? In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why you are not at fault for all of the damage inflicted on your credit records. I'm going to reveal to you just a few of the ways the credit world manipulates you and your credit records so that they can literally steal money right out of your wallet every day of every month. I'll bet you've had a hunch that something else has been going on behind the scenes, haven't you? I'm going to blow the whistle and show you just how manipulative your creditors can be, how they constantly change the rules to try and trap you so they can charge you all kinds of extra fees, plus legally jack your interest rates up sky high. The truth is, they couldn't care less how much they damage your credit records because lower credit scores means you're paying a higher interest rate, which equals more of your money for them. The good news is, you can turn the tables on these predatory lenders by taking action to repair the damage they've done to your credit records, which in turn allows your credit scores to rise to a healthy level. Just think how relieved you'll feel when your credit scores are healthy again and you can begin to do all the things you want to do. How about never having to worry that you'll be turned down for a mortgage or car loan again? We have helped thousands of people restore their credit records to a healthy level by lawfully forcing the permanent deletion of derogatory records from their credit report files, such as late payments, collections, repossessions, foreclosures, even bankruptcies. Now, earlier I told you that you're not at fault for all of the damage inflicted on your credit scores. I mentioned that some creditors are continually inventing ways to trip you up so that they can legally steal more and more of your money through excessive fees and penalties. It's called manipulating the rules. In the last few months, has one of your credit card companies sent you a cardholder agreement update in the mail? You know, the one with pages and pages of really tiny print? Anytime they change their rules, they are required by law to send you a notice. Later on, if you break one of these rules, you pay a penalty fee, and you can't do a thing about it. Do you read those cardholder agreement notices? Well, probably not. And the credit card companies know this. It's been reported that credit card companies make these notices hard to read on purpose. Millions of people unknowingly fall into one or more of these carefully designed traps every month. Credit card companies make billions every year just by creating new rules or altering the existing ones. We call it death by 1,000 fees. When you do read your cardholder agreement, you'll notice many of these types of fees. You may even notice a few that we aren't listing here for you. One of them that's popping up quite a bit lately is called a non-activity fee. You may have a card or two that you carry with you that you've not used lately. You're doing your best to stay out of debt. You just like to have the card in case you need it in an emergency. Well, don't be surprised if the credit card company charges you monthly for the privilege of carrying that credit card in your wallet. The credit card company gets to legally double dip your wallet by tacking these outrageous fees onto the balance you owe, racking up more interest. Breaking one of these rules and paying a penalty fee is bad enough, but it can trigger something worse, something much worse. Miss the deadline for a payment or break a rule, and you may have triggered penalty APR. Now your credit card company can legally increase your rate to the maximum heart-stopping default rate. Here's a quote from one of the top 5 national banks. The penalty APR is the APR which may be applied to new purchases, balance transfers, and cash advances. The calculated penalty APR will not exceed 29.99%. Well, that's really comforting to know that they weren't going to charge us 30%. I'm sure you'll agree. Have you been blindsided by penalty APR? You may be ticked off to have one of your creditors jack your interest rate up sky high, but you console yourself with the thought that you can transfer your balance over to another account and cancel this card, right? Well, maybe, or maybe not. Were you aware your other creditors are monitoring your credit files and can at any moment increase your interest rate under a legal provision known as adverse risk? Again, quoting from the National Bank, here's the reasons they can amend their credit card agreement. Changes related to your individual credit history, such as your risk profile, your payment or transaction patterns, balance patterns, the utilization levels of this and other accounts, credit bureau information, including the age, history, and type of other accounts, the measure of risk associated with each. Would you agree with me that there's enough weasel clauses in that language that they can just about decide to increase your rate or penalize you anytime they wish? Absolutely so. Are you beginning to realize how important it is to get started improving your credit files and then watching them closely so that you can keep from becoming a victim of these devious traps and schemes? Tom and Susan chose to go with our credit defense system because they wanted results as quickly as possible for 2 reasons. First, they were not willing to gamble on the old, slow, traditional credit repair method. What if it took 9 months or longer? Who knows where mortgage rates and home prices would be then? Second, they were sick and tired of paying high interest rates on their credit cards and auto loans, plus their auto insurance is nearly twice what it should be. They wanted it to stop as soon as possible. All in all, Tom and Susan figured they were losing $847 a month in higher interest rates and fees, which in 9 months would be $7,623 gone forever. Instead, their one-time fee for the credit defense system was only $1,495, and in just a few short weeks, they not only bought their dream home, they were also thrilled to be able to keep over $800 a month in their pocket where it belongs. At the core of the credit defense system is a long-standing and well-respected attorney-assisted credit improvement service that wastes no time in disputing and improving your credit records. In fact, most people see a marked improvement in their scores in an average of just 90 days. Can you imagine how it will feel to have your life back on track in just 3 months or less? The attorney you'll be working with founded this service clear back in 1994. Prior to 1994, he served as legal counsel for a major financial institution. As an industry insider, he has specialized knowledge to attack with laser precision those derogatory items in your credit records that are killing your credit scores. During the last over 20 years, he has helped restore the financial lives of more than 10,000 people. People just like you. Now, before you get started, it's important for you to understand that you need to do your part and cooperate with this process so that your credit records can be improved as quickly as possible so you can get back to doing the things you want to do. Earlier, I promised you a step-by-step overview of what you can expect, so let's get started. Here is our 20-year proven process mapped out for you. Step number 1, you'll speak directly with the experienced credit restoration attorney who will oversee your progress. Number 2, Our attorney, through his credit service organization, will obtain and analyze all three of your credit bureau reports. Number 3, the credit restoration attorney will then create written challenges disputing these derogatory items, which are then mailed to you. Now here's where you need to do your part. Sign and date the letters and, without delay, mail them to each respective credit bureau in the pre-addressed and postage-paid envelopes. Now, within 2 to 3 weeks, you'll receive an update from the bureau showing your progress. Step number 5, without delay, you should fax or email these updated copies to the credit restoration attorney so he can create a list of the creditors who refuse to comply. The attorney will then directly challenge any creditor which has not deleted or improved the disputed record in your credit file. Here is the reason our program is so successful. This direct creditor challenge is the unique feature that makes our credit defense system so effective. Simply stated, the Fair Credit Reporting Act provides you a valuable advantage when dealing with your creditors. You have the legal right to demand that your creditors conform to the law. The law requires the permanent deletion of derogatory credit information which is outdated, inaccurate, or the inability to be verified by the records held by the creditor. If the creditor cannot meet these 3 requirements, then the derogatory entry must be removed from your credit files. The fact is, the credit reporting industry has little or no regard for consumer challenges. In other words, they couldn't care less about what you want them to do. Their attitude changes the minute a knowledgeable consumer credit attorney challenges them. Our credit restoration attorney has been kicking creditors' butts for over 20 years. His forceful, direct challenge approach grabs them by the nose and yields the intended results. It's important for you to know that all U.S. creditors are subject to this law. That is why items such as late payments, collections, repossessions, foreclosures, and even bankruptcies can be removed from an individual's credit records. Isn't it comforting to know that our attorney fights for your rights and enforces the full power of the Fair Credit Reporting Act to challenge records such as these upon your behalf? Your credit defense system features the most knowledgeable, powerful, and effective legal challenge process ever devised. By doing your part and fully cooperating with this process, in just a few short weeks, your credit records and 3-digit scores can be materially improved and have now become an asset to you instead of a liability, keeping you from accomplishing your goals. No more feeling trapped with no way out. New doors and opportunities will open up for you. The sense of dread and hopelessness will go away. You can get your life back, on track, and fulfill your dreams. You are seeking successful results, and successful results are exactly what the credit defense system delivers. Before I begin, I'd like to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's people's credit repair fears. And many of their fears or distrust of the credit repair industry is really well-founded. The credit repair industry plays a game. Few people realize that the vast majority of so-called credit repair companies can do nothing more than prepare a barrage of challenge letters for your signature and submission to the credit bureaus, knowing full well that the credit bureaus receive thousands of such letters on a daily basis and have, in a large part, developed a policy whereby such challenges are routinely dismissed without proper regards for the consumer's legal rights. You pay and pay and pay for credit repair. These so-called credit repair companies are very eager to enroll you in a seemingly inexpensive recurring monthly payment plan which does nothing to ensure your eventual success, but rather to assure that the credit repair company enjoys a never-ending stream of monthly income funded by your continued hope in the process. This is a perfect example of selling a dream concealed as a bargain. The credit defense system is simple: a one-time flat fee, no surprises, no extra charges. Now stay tuned until the end of this video for a very special offer from your host. Our program is results-driven. Our immediate action process gives the credit bureaus one chance to remove the disputed items per your request. Our second tier of challenges is directed squarely at your creditors and is issued under the signature of our attorney and from his law office, which, as you would expect, carries infinitely more weight than a simple consumer request letter. We waste no time in disputing and challenging derogatory records, which is why you will see successful results in as little as 90 days. The credit defense system does not promise that a particular standard of improvement can be attained. However, if our program fails to improve your credit reporting, we will refund 100% of the fees you've paid. To honor your role in this performance agreement, you must abide by the following. Mail all dispute letters to the credit bureaus promptly and also without delay provide all credit bureau updates to the attorney. Make all required payments on time for any open accounts as listed on your credit reports. Do not apply for any new credit lines until completion of this agreement. We have over 10,000 happy clients, just like Tom and Susan. Tom and Susan chose to go with the credit restoration program that gets the desired results as quickly as possible. If they'd went with the slow traditional credit repair method and it took 9 months, well, who knows where interest rates and home prices would be then. Plus, they would be out anywhere from $800 to $1,000 or more. Instead, their fee for the credit defense system was only $1,499, and in just a few short weeks, they bought their dream home and enjoyed their best night's sleep in years. Where do you picture yourself 3 months from now? Today, knowledge has power. It controls access to opportunity and advancement. Now that you have the knowledge that your credit records can be improved in as little as 90 days, is there any reason you can think of as to why you would not want to start using our credit defense system to take back control of your life and in just a few short weeks start doing the things you want to do? I'm sure you're anxious to move forward, so here's what I'm asking you to do. Simply click on the button that says, "Yes, I want my good credit scores back." Fill out the form, and in just a couple of minutes, you've taken the first step towards restoring your credit so you can eliminate the frustration of having your life being kept on hold and get back to doing the things you want to do.